Hello, and welcome to Silicon Valley Girls Chat Over Tea. I'm Gloria.
And I'm Rosetta.
Hi, 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 hi. We are so excited for you to join us today, whether it is your first time or you're coming back to hang out with us. We're very conscious women, and we like to set the tone of our videos for kindness and compassion. So if you're looking for that, we're your girls. Come and hang out with us for a little bit.
Thank you so much. And we like to first start off with the teas that we're drinking. And today I'm drinking a cold tea. It is by the company called St. James. Can you see it? No, you can't see it. There you go.
There we go.
And it is a cold brew. It is organic brewed tea and it's zero sugar, classic mango, and it's a black tea. And it also comes in a raspberry flavor. And the ingredients here are can't forget the ingredients. The ingredients are all organic, brewed black tea, filtered water, lemon juice, stevia extract. So that's what it is. That's what I'm going to be drinking. And what are you drinking, Gloria?
And I am drinking a tea by a company called Traditional Medicinal. And this is their roasted dandelion root. And the ingredients are dandelion root roasted. You got to love that. And it's organic. Very, very good, good, good.
Fantastic.
So I followed Rosetta's direction. I did 2 tea bags, which makes it a little more flavorful. And I'm also doing ice. So cheers.
All right. Cheers, everyone. Delicious.
Yes. So as always, we like to start out our chats, setting the tone for our discussion. And we are all about sending our thoughts and prayers out to the universe because Rosetta and I believe when we can be in a space of love and kindness, and the world will manifest love and kindness, we will all do much, much better together. So, with that said, let's get started. Today's National Day is um, National Check-In Day and National Spark the World Day. So, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Spark the World. So, Spark the World is to encourage everyone to be a source of inspiration. This day celebrates individuals who go the extra mile to uplift others to greatness, whether through mentorship, encouragement, or leading by example. So let's take time to recognize someone who has sparked your potential. Share their stories down below so that we can share with you and consider how you can ignite positive change in your community.
Very good. And I'm going to be talking about National Get Checked Day. And that is when it's a day to call you to take action to get your mammograms, get your little girls checked. And it's simply asking a question, got checked, question mark. So routine breast cancer screenings do save lives. And it's important that you begin early and make sure you get your mammograms every 1 to 2, well, every 2 years. If you have a negative, then it's every 2 years. But if you have positive, then it's every year. So that's National Get Checked Day. It is also a birthday, and that is Kiki Palmer's birthday. She's an
Yay, little
actress.
Kiki,
Yes,
growing up.
yeah. She is an actress, an American host, and singer. And some of the things that she's known for is A Killer and the Bee, the movie, the Spelling Bee movie, Barbershop 2, and Hustlers. And she also has 2 Primetime Emmy Awards, nominated for an Actors Award, and 2 Daytime Emmy Awards. So she's come a long
Wow.
way and she's doing very well for herself. So happy
Yes.
birthday, Kiki Palmer.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to jump right into our weekly update of Nolan Wells and the whole story about trying to figure out what happened to him and how he died. July the 4th, He went on a boat to an island, Horn Island in Mississippi, and never returned. And there has been a lot of speculation as to what's happening, but the parents are not giving up and they want to find the truth. Today's update is that we have a lady who has come forward, and she said that her and her husband witnessed something on the island. And this is from her own words. Her and her husband witnessed this. They said they have not spoken publicly about this before, but witnessed an altercation involving Nolan Wells from a boat nearby. And she believes it's important information. I have provided or intend to provide my account to the appropriate investigators because Nolan's family deserves truth. And out of respect for the ongoing investigation, I want I won't speculate beyond what I personally observed. While I was on the boat near the area, I witnessed an altercation involving Nolan Wells and several other individuals. I saw what happened to be an argument that escalated after there was a dispute involving Nolan's phone. I heard Nolan yelling for his phone to be returned. The argument continued after the group reached shore, and I observed a physical fight involving Nolan and multiple people. Then she goes on to saying, I also observed a young woman telling them to stop. At that point, I left the area because the situation appeared to be getting worse. I did not remain long enough to witness what happened afterwards. Everything beyond that, I personally observed, what would be speculation. So I haven't honestly can't say what occurred after she left. That's what she's saying, and she's saying that that one of the individuals that she saw, she messaged and she said, I just want to say I was a passenger on the other boat and I saw the argument between you and the guys, and we'll go to the police with the information. I also have video footage, which my husband, he's going to be hopefully passing that on to the appropriate people that they need to pass on to. But we don't know as of today if they really did pass on that video. So we're yet to know. Then there's an officer, Tatum. He's an ex-officer, and he is actually interviewing the friends of Nolan Wells. He's actually on their side trying to get their story out there. And what's weird is that a few weeks ago, he said that well, actually, let's take it back. A few weeks ago, he said that he got DMs and talking about this one individual, this lady and her husband who saw this altercation. But recently, after he's been interviewing the friends of Nolan Wells, he's changing his tune and saying that, oh, this is news to me about this woman and this man observing this altercation. I know nothing about this. So we're not sure why Officer Tatum is all of a sudden changing when he actually heard about this a few weeks ago. So those are the new updates that I've seen, and I'll keep, on checking every, now and again as to if they've got any updates, but we won't know until we actually find out what really happened through the proper sources and what actually comes through, and also through the toxicology reports, because there's reports saying that, yes, we think that Nolan did take cocaine and it would show up in the toxicology reports, but then they're saying that there's toxicology reports that already came out and they don't see cocaine in his system. So we'll keep you updated.
Yes. And it's shocking if they find cocaine in his system because he was getting ready for football season and everybody knows you're going to have to take a physical. So that just doesn't set well. But
Yeah.
Rosetta's on it, I promise. So, as I shared with you all during National Day, to celebrate individuals that go the extra mile. So it is with joy and sadness, because joy is the person that I wanted to recognize, Dolly Parton, and it's sad that yesterday we learned of her passing. Dolly is someone that some people knew her as a country singer, an actress, like in her movie Still Magnolia that came out in 1989, or 9 to 5 that came out in 1980. I love that movie because it showed how women could run a company really, really well. So we learned that her official name was Dolly Rebecca Parton. She was an American singer, She was a songwriter. She was an actress. She was a businesswoman and a philanthropist who had a 60-year career as a successful crossover artist because she performed in both country and pop music. And her last album was a rock and roll. I mean, Dolly did it all. That is one of the things I loved about her. And she was prominent in both country and pop music, and she acted in film and television. Just to give you an idea of her longevity, she released her first album, Hello, I'm Dolly, in 1967. Dolly, at the age of 10, started singing at local radio and TV shows, and she debuted on the Grand Ole Opry stage at the age of 13. Most people didn't hit the stage at the Grand Ole Opry until they were grand old. You know what I mean? Well seasoned. She opened a theme park in 1986 called Dolly World, and it was located in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. That location draws about 4 million visitors annually. This entrepreneurial spirit went on and to build an empire of businesses and enterprises that grew into lines of baking goods, frozen food, coffee, wine, fragrances, cosmetics, jewelry, clothing, dinner theater, hotels, and many, many more. Dolly's generosity and compassion were evident in numerous charitable endeavors. She donated millions of dollars to various causes, including education, healthcare, and disaster relief. In 1988, she founded the Dollywood Foundation, which superserved the people of East Tennessee by providing scholarships to keep students in school. In 1995, she established the Dolly Parton's Imagination Library, a program that as of today has donated over 300 million free books to children around the world from birth to the age of 5. This imagination library, inspired by her father, who never learned to read or write, has fostered a love for reading and learning for countless children. She was a true American icon, queen of country, and she was inspirational to everyone she met. She was just so wonderful. One of the things I loved about her is she was on one of the morning TV shows, and they had asked that they heard that she liked to sleep in full glam. And she's like, "Of course." She goes, "I'm not going to take off my wig or my makeup, and there's an emergency and I have to run outside of the house." I thought that was so cute because she wanted people to always see her as they saw her. She came from humble beginnings, and she was one of 12 children. And one of her songs is called Coat of Many Colors. She says, her mom took rags and put them together, sewed them together to make her a coat. And she loved that coat, where some people would have been too bougie and said, ugh. Dolly loved that. And she talked about it she made a movie, a TV movie about it, and she sang about it. When you come from humble beginnings, she said, like she did, she didn't count her money, she counted her blessings. In her life, she amassed 11 Grammy Awards, 54 nominations, including the Lifetime Achievement Award, 10 Country Music Association Awards, Entertainer of the Year, 5 Academy of Country Music Awards, including a win for Entertainer of the Year, for People's Choice Awards, for American Music Awards. And in 1999, she was inducted into the coveted Country Music Hall of Fame. This is why in 2024, Billboard named Dolly the #1 country musician artist of all times. She used millions of dollars in royalty from the Whitney Houston song that Whitney covered of I Will Always Love You. She initially released it on the Jolene album, and then Whitney did it in the Bodyguard soundtrack. She took the money from that, the royalties, and she bought an office complex and a strip mall in a predominantly Black neighborhood in Nashville, Tennessee. And she said that was the house that Whitney built because that allowed her to help that community thrive, which I think is just beautiful. She also had many, many accolades that were coming in yesterday. I mean, everything, Facebook, Instagram, everything was just blowing up with posts to Dolly and to Dolly's family. And some of the individuals that spoke about her, the two that rose to the top was number one, Taylor Swift said that her legacy will be an everlasting one. And Jane Fonda, who she did 9 to 5 with, said she is woven into all of our lives and hearts forever. One of the things that Rosetta might not know this that she has in common is Dolly loved butterflies. Butterflies was something that she truly, truly loved. So, Dolly, you will be missed. We all love you. We are grateful for you showing what true patronism looks like because instead of you just putting money in the bank, you invested your money into the community to make sure that Nashville as well as Tennessee were thriving. Thank
Yeah,
you.
she was amazing, and I'm so sad because we talked about her, how she had to cancel her tour because she had kidney stones, and all of a sudden we find out that she passed. But
Yes,
the cause of it was, I did not know this, but she had a bout of cancer, and she passed away at the Vanderbilt Ingram Cancer Center in Nashville, surrounded by loved ones. And you will
yes,
definitely be missed. And we hope that prior to your passing, you said that you were going to come out with a musical called Dolly. So I'm hoping that project continues because we would all love to see it.
yes, we would.
Yep, yep, yep. Rest in peace, Dolly Parton.
Yes,
All right, now we're going to talk about something that we think is pretty big, Gloria and I, and it has to be talked about because it's something that is affecting a lot of people around the world. Now, have you heard of a chemical? You may or may not have heard of it, but it's a herbicide chemical called paraquat. Now, paraquat is one of the chemicals that is very effective at killing weeds. It is similar to glyphosate, but it's just one of the many. But paraquat has been showing up more and more and it actually is very, very poisonous because they say that some of the symptoms of paraquat poisoning happens very, very fast. It shows up really quickly. Some of the symptoms could be swelling, pain in the mouth and throat, causing immediate damage by direct contact. Many experience nausea, vomiting, just abdominal pain, diarrhea, gastrointestinal symptoms are usually severe, and you have severe nosebleeds, difficult breathing. It's just things you don't want to experience that this
yes,
really dangerous, poisonous parakeet poisoning is doing to people. Now, it's been coming up more and more because people are now talking about this paraquat as one of the chemicals that has been linked to the chronic disease, Parkinson's disease. And
mhm,
there is a doctor that we know, and Parkinson's disease, if you don't know, is a nervous system disorder with no cure. Now, the people that would have been using this particular chemical in their everyday day-to life would be people that work in farms, that grow crops, spray. This is a spray. And there has been a doctor by the name of Dr. Deborah Corey Selector, and she did an intensive study on how environmental toxins, including this paraquat, affects the brain of mice. And her research has often cited and suggested that there is a link between this deadly chemical paraquat and Parkinson's. So the evidence is loss of dopamine neurons. And the company that actually sells this product Their name is Syngenta, and they've been selling Paraquat in 5 countries: USA, Australia, New Zealand, Japan, Indonesia. 51 countries now have banned it due to the extreme toxicity. And countries like Brazil, members of the European Union, also expressed concerns over the possible risk of Parkinson's disease by this paraquat. So they have not used it. But what's even more important is that 2 countries where they're produced, UK and China, they have banned it domestically. So isn't that just ironic? The 2 countries that produce it, they're banning it. And they, even as a state-owned, they were actually this company was purchased by a Chinese chemical company, and they acquired it for $43 billion in 2017. Now, um, Syngenta was not the only company selling it. For a while, Chevron was also another company that was selling this product, and they sold like billions because of this paraquat. And they distributed it from Chevron distributed it from 1966 to 1986, and after that they stopped selling in the U.S. But the other company, Syngenta, continued selling it, and they're saying there is no causal link between paraquat and Parkinson's. And they say as long as farmers who are using it follow the label, take the proper precautions and measures, and get the right training, paraquat is safe to use. Now, top scientists are saying something else because they're very concerned about this paraquat. They're concerned and they're saying that they're convinced that paraquat could be a risk factor for Parkinson's. And there have been, if you look online, there's so many stories of farmers that have been using it in back in the days. But in order to use Paraquat, you have to go through some kind of licensing. You have to be tested and licensed to get the certification to use it. It's not just something that you can use on your farm. You have to have the license and be able to know how to use it properly and to be safe while using it. But a lot of farmers, they didn't know back in the days. Nobody told them of the risks. And now they're getting symptoms of dementia and Parkinson's. And it's really sad because they're saying had they known, it may be a different story, which is
Yep.
it's just really sad. Now, what's even worse is a whole nother story coming out about this paraquat is that um, the EPA, which stands for Environmental Protection Agency, they wanted to put together a scientific advisory panel um, on pesticides in 2005. And internal emails show that they did not this main company Syngenta, they have an email showing that they did not want specific person to be on this panel. And that specific person was Dr. Corey Selector, because she is the one that was saying that there's some correlation between paraquat and Parkinson's. The reason is that they did not want, they're saying the reason why they didn't want the doctor on this panel is she's unwilling to enter into an objective scientific debate with industries regarding her data, which is kind of funny, and I don't know how Syngenta is trying to get, the EPA to sway them against using her because isn't the EPA Environmental Protection Agency? They are the protection agency, so which is really weird. They're trying to sway them from having her. Now, the Michael J. Fox, we all know there's a very famous actress called Michael J. Fox. He has the Michael J. Fox Foundation, and he wants to find out why this chemical was still being approved and used in the United States. Um, Fox has never blamed, paraquat, the actual chemical, for this disease, but his organization has spoken out about environmental factors and they believe they have influenced the risk of Parkinson's, including paraquat, this chemical. Now, there has been a lawsuit many years ago filed against the EPA, suing them for allowing the continued use of paraquat in the USA. Now, EPA's assumption that existing regulations will be sufficient to protect people is not grounded in reality, not supported by science. That's what they're saying. They approved roughly 94% of pesticides between 2017 to 2018. And they're saying, the EPA are saying that their process for pesticide registration is considered the most and scientifically robust in the world, very sophisticated. So in order to get this to be registered to be able to use this paraquat, they're saying that they go through sophisticated and scientifically robust procedures, which is weird because they're the ones that should be trying to be on the people's side. But what's weird is that this is all to do with money because they have a very cozy relationship between large companies and the EPA organization, which is very sad. An industry to protect the public, but you will see they are approving many thousands of different pesticides to be allowed to be used, which is having a risk and causing a link between many chronic diseases. And Syngenta said, despite years of investigation, no scientist or doctor have ever concluded that in a peer-reviewed publication that paraquat causes Parkinson's. But many scientists believe there is an association, and Syngenta is trying to question the science and highlight uncertainties. So it's really sad that we have this back and forth between the main company Syngenta, which was purchased by a Chinese company, and just this paraquat. I mean, it's crazy to think that there's so many chemicals out there, and paraquat, I don't understand. What do you think, Gloria? I'm just baffled this whole correlation with EPA and trying to protect the people, and they're still allowing all these pesticides.
I completely agree with you. So the thing for me is that if 70 countries have highlighted the fact that paraquat is not good for its citizens, why is money more important than the lives of American citizens? That's my question. So there are frequently cited examples how paraquat has been banned, but it's not banned at the federal level in the United States of America. Even though it's classified for restricted use pesticide by the EPA, it should be completely banned. So Vermont is the first U.S. state to pass an outright ban on the chemical paraquat, and several other states are now actually looking at maybe we should, because if you listen to the doctor and you read the information, there is a correlation. How deep, we don't know, because instead of looking into it and investigating it, they're sweeping it under the carpet. Now, paraquat exposure primarily causes acute, common, often fatal. Paraquat poisoning is characterized by severe lung damage and pulmonary fibrosis. Long-term low-level occupational exposure is also strongly linked to the risk of developing Parkinson. We know this. We also know that it's rare, but the mortality rate is extremely high, often 80 to 90%, if someone gets paraquat poisoning. So if you know it's bad, then legally it shouldn't be permitted in the United States. And the agricultural division should find another way for clearing weeds and crops, because they use it on cotton, soybeans, and almonds. This pesticide is on almonds. Here in California, where we are, we're the number one producer of almonds in the world. So that makes me think if they're using it on the almonds, that's getting ingested by people. That could be causing some of the conditions that people are experiencing. And cotton. I mean, a lot of our clothing is made of cotton. So Rosetta and I are going to continue to look into this because it just doesn't feel right. It feels wrong. And when you see someone like a Michael J. Fox, whose company is saying there is a correlation, there is something, then we believe the EPA should investigate.
And it's funny how the two countries that make this are actually have banned it in their country. So what
Yeah,
did they say? Why did they ban it if they didn't think it was, you know,
harmful.
yes. And
Yeah,
why
we don't want to kill
why
our
are they
citizens.
even making it then?
Exactly. There are more holistic ways of dealing with this than creating and releasing pesticides into the world that kill people.
Yeah.
It's just sad. So I wanted to talk to you all a little bit about Meta. So Rosetta and I have been talking to you for years about social media and our children. Well, today, this week in Oakland, and a Oakland court, Meta has agreed to a historic $18 billion, that's with the B, settlement with the coalition of 47 United States, um, and to end the landmark federal trial because these 47 states, the attorney generals, were going to sue them. And they decided instead of going through the trial and all of that, they're going to pay out. The cost is 17 billion to resolve the claims brought by the coalition of state attorney generals and 1 billion suddenly for the separation agreement with Texas. So it's 18 billion in total. Now, the deal cuts short the trial and mandates sweeping child safety overhauls on Instagram and Facebook. Meta was facing a massive wave of active litigations, most notably a landmark federal trial in California, yay for us, brought by a bipartisan coalition as state attorney generals sought that thousands of individual school districts and private plaintiffs targeting young youth mental health and addictive platform design. So Meta, because of this, they must implement youth safety changes immediately, including nighttime blocks, daily usage limit for teens, and stronger age verification tools. Meta did not admit to doing anything wrong. However, the liability as part of the agreement, they just wanted to pay and get out. Because just imagine if each state got 20 billion, they could lose a lot of money. Now, New Mexico did not participate in the settlement because they already pursued their case separate and they won $567 million. And Florida was also not part of the coalition. And currently, they're just not doing anything to, as far as social media and their children. Rosetta and I are very, 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 very happy to know that this is resulting in them changing those algorithms. They know that they're addictive. The children get on and they can't get off. So this should help the parents to regulate. They're going to act like, oh, the kids are, they love us. They're never going to get off. I think if the children have like a warning or something, you know, you've been doing this for 20 hours. Don't you think you need to take a walk? I think things will get better.
I think that what they're going to do is they're going to, when you say they're going to limit at nighttime and stuff, I think it's like 2 hours the max that they can be on there.
That's
And
it.
and my question was, I have two questions here. you're saying that Florida won and New Mexico won. Now they're paying out so much money, Meta. Where is all this money going to? What are they going to do with the money now they got this? I hope they put it into some good use.
I
Uh,
hope they put it into building programs for the children.
yes, programs.
It's really sad that our kids are just, face down with devices.
Yeah.
They need to get back outside. They need to have physical activities. I would like to see them invest in our schools. That's what the lottery was supposed to do, but that's not working. Invest in our children, give them after school programs, give them better books, give them reading materials, give them a real curriculum, bring the arts back into school, let our children express their creativity.
And
That's
teach
what I'm hoping.
children more about everyday life things that they need in future, like finances, health and wellness,
Yes,
nutrition. That's important. And I
yes,
wanted to also find out how is Meta going to impose this on how they're going to figure out how old these kids are. So I did do some digging into how they were going to do that and enforce that. And they said that they were going to they do some algorithms where they can check because when you're on your phone, right? You can actually there's a way, I haven't done it in a while. You can check to see how long you've been using the phone per day, per week, per month, right? And it adds it up.
right,
So they can figure out like how long you've been using it. Because I was wondering, well, how long do they know you've been using it, right? They know. They know.
right. Oh,
Yeah.
they know. They
They
know.
know. And also they're gonna do strict in regards to the age, that's kind of, I wasn't sure how they're going to do that, but they said they're going to try and figure that out and get the algorithms and try and dig down, but they're not going to be able to stop 100%, but they're going to do their
Right.
best to try and get people, to try and catch people. Because, some people, they put the wrong, you know,
Date.
the date, because in order to have a Facebook account, you need to be 13 or older or something like that.
Right.
So I
Right.
think they're going to try and do it for, I think it's 18 and under. I think that's what it is.
Yeah. They're also going to try and figure out can they use AI as a repository of global information to figure out the age of a child. I just think that because it was financially advantageous for Meta at the time, they didn't put the restrictions on. However, I believe they have a way of locking it down. So we'll see because they settled. That's the part that shocked me.
Yeah,
They settled to pay 18 billion. That's a lot of money.
it is a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, yep, 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 yeah, yeah. So we'll keep an eye on this, and it'll be interesting to find out when it goes into effect and how it's working for the parents and their children, because that must be a big relief for the parents.
Yes, yes.
Yep, yep, yep. And all right, we're going to talk about now, turn to something to do with the weather, but this has got to be talking about a massive mud flash flood that happened in Nepal. This is
Mhm.
crazy. It just, it was like, I think this has got to, we always talk, Gloria and I always talk about the weather and everything. And I think that this massive flash flood, which happened well, we're kind of ahead of Nepal. So it's on the 26th, but it was their 26th. We were still,
Right.
they were a day ahead of us. So they're thinking maybe it happened on the Tibetan side. And the earthquake was at 8:37 local time, and it was a 4.8 earthquake. This I cannot believe. You have to see. Go onto YouTube or anywhere in Google this
Right.
earthquake. I mean, sorry, not the earthquake, the
The
massive
mudslide.
flood, because it wasn't just a flood. It was like just a puff of like dirt. It looked like dirt, a puff of dirt that covered the whole city. It just
Yeah.
swept everything up, but it wasn't dirt. It was a mud flash flood, which is why
Yeah.
it looked so brown and murky. And they're saying so far 75 people have died, and there are many hundreds of tourists missing from the
They're
UK.
like 400 tourists are missing.
Yes, and 105 Indians. people from Malaysia, South Africa, three Americans, Australia, and they're actually saying that there might be a second flash flood that might occur. So the actual video that they keep showing is of a town called Rasua, and you'll see there were a lot of buses lined up, and they're saying that that's because it was a big tourist area, which is why there were a lot of tour buses there lined up all in a row, and it just looked like a Lego village. Like you look down and it's like a mini village, and all of a sudden the flash flood comes and everything gets swept away. It's crazy. So keep them in your prayers. And I just hope that the second flash flood does not occur because there's so much disaster that's already happened to them. They don't need another flash flood. So
No, not at all.
yeah, so keep them in your prayers, please.
Yes. And, along the same lines, we're still experiencing crazy, crazy weather patterns here in domestic USA. So, the lower region of the United States, we're having heat waves. Um, my God, Arizona, 116 degrees. Vegas, 113. And then they're like, oh, we're cooling. We going down to 110. I mean, and it's been days and days of this. Albuquerque, New Mexico, 97 degrees. El Paseo, 102 degrees. And then in the middle, we have possible storms, possibility of hail, 1 inch in diameter hail. We have also down near the coastal area, like New Orleans. That's like on the water. And New Orleans is going to be between 90 and 92 degrees between today and Friday. And then we have like Denver, Little Rock, Arkansas, Indianapolis, where the storm risk are winds between 60 to 75 miles per hour. And the temperatures on the far East Coast, we have flooding, we have heat waves, we have storms brewing. So it's just really, really crazy. And the bad part about some of this, the weather is starting to affect wildfires. So in Reno, Nevada, they have on the outskirts of Reno, it's a place called Sparks. Now, Sparks, you're like, that sounds familiar. Uh-huh. Sparks is where Burning Man occurs. So people are leaving this week to get to Burning Man on Friday, and they're going to start doing the setup. And for 2 weeks, they're going to be doing the Burning Man process. Then we have Labor Day weekend is next weekend, and we have the Nuggets barbecue cook-off. So you're going to have thousands of people going around these areas. I'm happy to say that the fire in Sparks and Reno kicked off Saturday. And even as of, I would say probably yesterday morning, it was only like 27% contained. As of today, it's 85% contained. Highway 395 is now back open, so traffic is moving. As of Tuesday, they had 90,000 people that had been evacuated to shelters. There was not an empty hotel room in Reno. So I don't know where all these people who are coming in, if the fires hadn't have gotten out of control, there's no hotel room. A lot of the locals are in the convention center. That's where they put a mock shelter. So it's the weather and then people. They think that this was human caused in Reno, that fire, but they haven't given the specific details. But just be very careful if you're out and about, and I don't know who does still smoke, but don't be throwing cigarettes or ashes, or if you have a campfire, make sure it is out, out, out. You can put your hands on it. It's dead. There's no chance of it rebounding. So just be very, very, very careful wherever you are. The weather is quite crazy right now. As Rosetta said, whoever would think about a mud flood? It's just
Yeah. We
ridiculous.
always talk about, why do you think we always talk about the weather every chat? Because it's really important. If you've noticed and you've stayed with us with all these years, we talk about like the unusual patterns that we've been getting over the
Yes.
many years in the past. And it's just getting worse and worse and worse. Cannot even believe that even in summer, we're still getting flash floods, you know, tornadoes, worse than ever,
Hurricanes.
hurricanes, triple digits, lasting forever. And it's like crazy. It's just to one extreme to the next.
Yeah. I mean, I love Hawaii and they're going through it. The islands are starting to recover. However, they had, I mean, what was that? 46.9 inches of rain. That's a lot. And they have volcanoes and the shifting of the earth could, it could just stir up a lot of things. So be conscious and make sure, as you can, make a difference. Vote, 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 vote to ensure that the people we put in office care more about our livelihood than someone making some money, because you can't take it with you. You might as well share. Okay? Well, we want to thank you all for hanging out with us. We hope we gave you some information to give you aha moments. In addition to recognizing Dolly Parton and her contribution to the world, we want you to Google Paraquat. What is Paraquat? What did she say? Go back, rewind, and re-listen to what we said. Think about the weather. Are there things that we can do that will make the environment safer for all of us to live on planet Earth? That's important. So we thank you once again. We hope you enjoyed hanging out with us. We want you to know that we are grateful for you. We feel the love and respect that you give us by hanging out with us. And we send it back to you, mwah, bubbling over. Go out and share it with the world.
Yes, share it with everyone. Love is all we need. Love is what makes the world go round.
Yes,
And if
yes,
you stayed with us till the end of this chat, how about hitting that thumb icon? I know you enjoyed our chat. That's why you stay till the end. Hit the notification so you're the first to be notified when our videos are ready to be seen. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel because it helps our algorithm so we can continue making more and more of these chats that we love.
yes.
Love, love, love being with you. And we are Silicon Valley Girls Chat Over Tea. And remember
Remember
to
to always
keep smiling.
keep smiling.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye. Bye bye.